What if the secret to living longer wasn't locked away in some lab or remote jungle, but sitting quietly in your kitchen cupboard? Apple cider vinegar. That murky bottle you've used maybe once for salad dressing might just hold the key to longevity. From ancient warriors to Silicon Valley biohackers, people have sworn by its powers for centuries. But is it just another overhyped health fad? Or is there real science behind it? In this video, we're diving deep into the research, the myths, the benefits, and we're answering the big question. Can apple cider vinegar really help you live longer? Stick around, the truth might just change the way you age. Let's start by breaking down what apple cider vinegar actually is and what makes it so special. Apple cider vinegar is made through a two-step fermentation process. First, crushed apples are exposed to yeast, which turns their natural sugars into alcohol. Then, bacteria are added to that alcohol, converting it into acetic acid, the main active compound in vinegar. But here's where it gets interesting. Acetic acid isn't just a sour-tasting substance. It's a bioactive compound that has been shown to impact everything from metabolism to blood sugar regulation. Apple cider vinegar also contains small amounts of potassium, amino acids, and antioxidants, all of which play roles in your body's overall health. And if you've ever seen that cloudy stuff floating in raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar, that's called the mother. No, not like a sci-fi villain. The mother is a mix of proteins, enzymes, and friendly bacteria. It's believed to be one of the most beneficial parts of apple cider vinegar, especially when it comes to gut health and immune support. Now, before we go any further, let's be clear. Apple cider vinegar is not a miracle cure. It's not going to replace a balanced diet or regular exercise. But, and it's a big but, the science behind its effects is promising. For instance, several studies suggest that acetic acid can help regulate blood sugar and insulin levels after meals. This is a big deal when it comes to preventing chronic diseases like type 2 diabetes, which, as we'll see later, has a direct impact on how long and how well we live. So, no, apple cider vinegar isn't magic, but it's got chemistry, literally. And that chemistry might just make it one of the simplest, most affordable tools in your longevity toolkit. Up next, we'll explore how apple cider vinegar affects one of the biggest drivers of aging and disease, your blood sugar. Blood sugar. It's something most of us don't think about, until there's a problem. But here's the thing, even if you don't have diabetes, how your body handles blood sugar plays a massive role in how you age. Spikes in blood sugar after meals, called postprandial glucose spikes, are linked to inflammation, oxidative stress, and even faster cellular aging. Over time, they can increase your risk of heart disease, cognitive decline, and of course, type 2 diabetes. So where does apple cider vinegar come in? Well, studies, including one published in the Journal of the American Dietetic Association, found that taking about 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar before a high-carb meal significantly improved insulin sensitivity and reduced blood sugar levels after eating. That's huge. Why? Because better blood sugar control doesn't just mean fewer sugar crashes, it means less stress on your organs, a lower risk of chronic disease, and potentially a longer, healthier life. The magic seems to lie in acetic acid, the compound we talked about earlier. Researchers believe it slows down the rate at which your stomach empties, which means sugar hits your bloodstream more gradually. It also appears to improve the body's ability to take glucose into cells, especially in people who are insulin resistant. And get this, one study showed that just 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar before bedtime could reduce fasting blood sugar levels by 4% in the morning. That's not nothing. Of course, this doesn't mean you should swap your medication for vinegar, but when used responsibly, apple cider vinegar could be a powerful support tool, especially if you're at risk of developing insulin resistance or just trying to maintain stable energy throughout the day. So next time you're having a big pasta dinner or a bagel-heavy breakfast, maybe reach for that cloudy little bottle first. Coming up, we'll look at another big driver of aging, weight gain and metabolic health. Let's talk about weight, not in a beachbody kind of way, but in a longevity kind of way. Carrying extra weight, especially around the belly, increases your risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, certain cancers, and even cognitive decline. That's why weight management is a big deal if you're serious about living a longer, healthier life. And here's where apple cider vinegar might help. First, let's talk about satiety, that fancy word for feeling full. Several studies have shown that apple cider vinegar can help you feel fuller for longer. In one small study, people who consumed vinegar with a high-carb meal ate up to 275 fewer calories throughout the day. The theory? Acetic acid may suppress centers in the brain that control appetite. Basically, you might just naturally eat less without even trying. But that's not all. A Japanese study tracked overweight adults for 12 weeks and found that those who took 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar daily lost more body fat and had a smaller waist circumference compared to those who didn't. Now, don't expect a miracle. This isn't a lose 10 pounds in 3 days kind of thing. The changes were modest, but they were real. And when we're talking about long-term health, even small shifts can have big effects over time. On top of that, apple cider vinegar may improve metabolism by increasing the enzyme AMPK, the same one activated by exercise and fasting. AMPK helps your body burn fat for energy instead of storing it. So yeah, sipping diluted apple cider vinegar before meals isn't going to replace a good diet and regular movement, but it could be a smart sidekick in your wellness journey. Just a heads up, too much vinegar can irritate your stomach and even damage your tooth enamel, so always dilute it and don't overdo it. Coming up, let's shift focus from the waistline to the heart, because when it comes to living longer, what's good for your heart is good for your entire body. Your heart pumps about 100,000 times a day, no breaks, no days off, and yet heart disease remains the leading cause of death worldwide. That's why protecting your heart isn't just about living longer, it's about living better. So where does apple cider vinegar come in? Let's start with cholesterol. A few studies, mostly small but still intriguing, have shown that daily apple cider vinegar consumption can help reduce total cholesterol, LDL, bad cholesterol, and triglycerides, all while slightly increasing HDL, good cholesterol. In one 2021 study published in Clinical Nutrition SPEN, participants who consumed 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar daily saw significant improvements in their lipid profiles after just 8 weeks. That might not sound dramatic, but remember, even modest improvements in cholesterol can translate into big reductions in heart attack and stroke risk over time. Apple cider vinegar may also help lower blood pressure, though most of the research here is still in its early stages, and much of it comes from animal studies. But researchers suspect that the potassium and antioxidant compounds in apple cider vinegar might help relax blood vessels and reduce tension on artery walls. There's also the indirect benefit because apple cider vinegar can help with weight control and blood sugar regulation. It's tackling multiple risk factors for heart disease all at once. It's like a Swiss Army knife for cardiovascular health. But a quick reality check: apple cider vinegar is not a substitute for prescribed medication or major lifestyle changes. Think of it as a supportive ally, not the star player. That said, if you're eating well, staying active, managing stress, and sleeping enough, adding apple cider vinegar to your routine could give your heart just a little more love. Up next, let's explore the microscopic side of longevity, free radicals, antioxidants, and how apple cider vinegar might protect your cells from the inside out. Okay, we've talked about blood sugar, weight, and heart health. But what about what's happening under the hood at the cellular level? One of the biggest silent drivers of aging is something called oxidative stress, caused by free radicals. Think of free radicals like unstable party crashers in your body that damage cells, proteins, and even your DNA. Over time, this damage leads to inflammation, aging, and diseases like cancer, Alzheimer's, and heart disease. That's where antioxidants come in, your body's bouncers. They neutralize free radicals before they can wreak havoc. And yes, apple cider vinegar contains antioxidant compounds, including polyphenols, which are naturally occurring plant chemicals that help reduce inflammation and protect your cells. It's not a miracle dose, but when combined with an antioxidant-rich diet, apple cider vinegar may give your body a little extra backup in the war against cellular aging. But wait, there's more. Apple cider vinegar is also known for its antimicrobial properties. The acetic acid in vinegar can kill harmful bacteria, including strains like E. coli and Staphylococcus aureus. That's why apple cider vinegar has been used for centuries as a natural disinfectant, not just for surfaces and food, but even minor skin irritations. Some people use diluted apple cider vinegar as a facial toner, a foot soak, or even a sore throat gargle. Now, fair warning, the evidence for many of these uses is mostly anecdotal or based on lab studies. So don't go dumping vinegar on every scrape or skin problem, and never use it undiluted, especially on your skin or in your mouth. But the takeaway is this: apple cider vinegar may support your health on multiple fronts, from fending off germs to reducing oxidative stress, both of which can play a role in how gracefully you age. So by now you're probably thinking, okay, I get it, apple cider vinegar might help with blood sugar, weight, heart health, and even fighting aging. But how do I actually use it? Great question, because like most things in health, how you use it matters just as much as whether you use it. Let's start with the basics. Most of the research we've mentioned used around 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar per day, typically diluted in a large glass of water. That's about 15 to 30 milliliters, usually taken before meals or before bed. Some people like to add a little honey or lemon to make it more palatable, and others incorporate it into salad dressings, marinades, or even smoothies. But let's be crystal clear. Never drink apple cider vinegar straight. That acetic acid we keep talking about? It's powerful. Undiluted, it can erode your tooth enamel and irritate your throat and upset your stomach. Here's a pro tip. If you're drinking apple cider vinegar in water, use a straw to protect your teeth and rinse your mouth afterwards. And if you're just getting started, begin with 1 teaspoon a day and gradually work your way up. Some people are more sensitive than others, especially those with acid reflux or stomach issues. Oh, and stick with organic, raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar with the mother. That cloudy stuff floating around isn't gross. It's a sign that the vinegar still contains beneficial enzymes and probiotics. As for who should be cautious, if you're pregnant, on blood sugar meds, or have kidney issues, check with your doctor before making apple cider vinegar a daily habit. So the big picture here, think of apple cider vinegar as a daily health enhancer, not a cure-all. Add it to your wellness routine, not your medicine cabinet. Up next, let's bust some myths, because apple cider vinegar may be powerful, but it's definitely not magic. Let's face it, the internet is full of wild claims about apple cider vinegar. Some are based on real science, others, not so much. So let's play a quick round of myth or fact. Myth number 1, apple cider vinegar will detox your body. Myth. Look, your liver and kidneys already do a fantastic job of detoxing your body. You don't need a magic potion. Apple cider vinegar isn't a detox elixir, but it can support metabolic processes that keep your body running smoothly. Myth number 2, apple cider vinegar can cure acne and make your skin glow. The reality, well, it's half true. Apple cider vinegar has antimicrobial properties and can help with some skin conditions when diluted, but applying it directly? That's a fast track to redness, burns, or irritation. Always dilute, patch test first, and talk to a dermatologist if you're unsure. Myth number 3, drinking apple cider vinegar melts body fat. This is a myth. Sorry, apple cider vinegar isn't a fat-melting miracle. It can support weight loss efforts by improving satiety and blood sugar control, but it's not doing any melting on its own. Myth number 4, you can take it in pill form instead. Well, this is sort of true. Apple cider vinegar supplements are a thing, but they're not always well regulated. Many don't contain actual acetic acid or the mother, and some even cause esophageal damage if they get stuck. If you go this route, do your research and choose trusted brands. Myth number 5, more is better. Definitely a myth. Taking too much apple cider vinegar can lead to low potassium levels, digestive issues, and damage to your tooth enamel. Stick to the recommended 1 to 2 tablespoons diluted per day. Bottom line, apple cider vinegar has legit health benefits, but it's not magic. It works best as part of a holistic lifestyle, not a standalone fix. Coming up, we'll wrap things up with the key takeaways and why this humble vinegar might just deserve a spot in your daily routine. So after all the science, the skepticism, and the swirling cloud of the mother, what's the verdict? Can apple cider vinegar really help you live longer? The honest answer? Maybe, and maybe more than you think. Here's what we know. It helps regulate blood sugar, especially after carb-heavy meals. It may support modest weight loss by keeping you fuller for longer. It appears to improve cholesterol levels and heart health markers. It contains antioxidants that fight oxidative stress, a key factor in aging. And it has antimicrobial properties that can support your immune system and gut health. But here's the real takeaway. Longevity isn't about one silver bullet. It's about stacking small, positive habits that work together over time. Apple cider vinegar isn't a miracle cure, But it is one of those small, natural, accessible tools that might give your body just a little more support, one sip at a time. And honestly, that's kind of refreshing, right? No $200 supplements, no extreme diets, just a splash of vinegar and some consistency. So, will you live to 100 just because you added apple cider vinegar to your routine? Maybe not. But could it help your body function better, manage stressors more efficiently, and stay resilient as you age? That's a definite yes. If you learned something today, drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and share your thoughts in the comments. Have you tried apple cider vinegar? Do you swear by it? Or are you skeptical? Either way, we'd love to hear from you. And if you're interested in more science-backed, natural strategies for living longer and better, stick with us. We've got a lot more coming your way. Thanks for watching, and here's to your health, your future, and maybe even your 100th birthday.